Cartel channel. If you don't know, I'm Star. The message I heard is, baby, YouTube just threw me all the way off. YouTube's just throwing me all the way off. The message I heard is, you'll know no further. The scripture comes from 1 Kings 9 and 15. Here's the account of the forced labor King Solomon conscripted to build the Lord's temple, his own palace, the terraces, the wall of Jerusalem, and Hazor, Megiddo, and Gezer. So here's the message. God said for somebody that it's not going to be a situation where you just not going to be able to accomplish whatever it is that you need to accomplish. Not only will you be able to accomplish it, but God is going to ensure that you have people in your life that are going to help you. You know what I'm saying? Not, you know what I'm saying? Not just like, sometimes we'll have people that'll help us emotionally, but they don't help us financially. Sometimes they'll help us financially, but they don't help us spiritually. I feel like God is saying He's going to ensure that you have so many people surrounding you that is not one aspect that is going to be, fall. It's not one aspect that's going to be, it's not going to be a situation where you are not going to make it. It's not going to be a situation where you're going to be, without. Your children will not be without. You will not be without. God said He got you. And that's just period. God said from this moment on, as long as you are being obedient to Him, it's not going to be a situation where you're going to go without, and it's not going to be a situation that your kids going to go without. And I have testified several times on my channel at times where I will be hungry, don't know where I'm going to sleep, don't know where I'm going to eat, don't know what is up, what is down, and God came through for me. Out of nowhere. Times with no way out of no way. You know what I'm saying? Nowhere. No, it's no way that I could have made it. It doesn't even make sense that I survived and I still survived. It don't even make sense when I left from the desert that I made it to the bus station, the way that the condition my truck was in. I told y'all 2 of the tires only had 3 lug nuts on there. How in the world did I drive all the miles? It don't make no sense. I drove for 3 days, y'all. 3 days with 3 lug nuts on 2 tires and a head gasket that was blown. You can't tell me that God don't have His kids back. And then when I got there, somebody had pity on me and made sure I got back to Houston. That part. Made sure I had a room to sleep in. Made sure I was safe. Made sure I had something to eat. Made sure I got my ticket. Made sure I knew where the station was. Made sure I knew how to get a taxi if I needed to. Baby, you can't tell me that God don't look out for His kids. You cannot tell me that. And I'm saying this for somebody. God said, it don't matter what the enemy brings up against you. It don't matter who the enemy uses to get to you. The enemy will use your own children to attack you. The enemy will use your own spouse to attack you, your parents, your siblings. It don't matter who. But God said He will always be there for you. And He will ensure that you okay. And you know what I'm saying? If it is any slack, you know what I'm saying? If you are missing love from this area, attention from this area, help from this area, you don't know how you're going to pay this, you don't understand how you're going to make it, God said He going to make sure that you good. So it ain't no need for you to be scared. It ain't no need for you to be worried. It ain't no need for you to be concerned. It's not no need. And I'm being reminded of so many moments in my life when I felt that way. And when I was like, what in the world am I about to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? That feeling when you really feel like you really messed up and you really you feel like you really got yourself in a pickle. And you like, how in the world am I going to get out of this here? How did I get myself into this here? Why was I not paying attention where I was walking? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel like you was walking down the forest and you just so happened to start going down the dark part and you wasn't even paying attention. You were actually starting to look at the beauty of it instead of actually realizing the dangers that is wolves and bears in there. And I just feel like God is saying that you've been in situations where you you ain't have no choice but to raise your hands up to God and say, you know what, whatever you gonna do, go ahead and do it. Whatever you gonna do, go ahead and do it. I give up. I give up. I give up. I keep praying that because sometimes God will have a way out, but His way out is a way that, you know what I'm saying, we don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to hear that. 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 You know what I'm saying? We don't want to hear the way that God is going to get us out of that situation. We don't want to hear some of these things, but sometimes that's what it is. Sometimes what it is you gonna have to take a job that may pay less before you get a job that's gonna pay more, and sometimes that's what it is. But you know what I'm saying, sometimes it could be a situation where your miracle is in there. You never know, you might end up owning the place down the line. Just because you went ahead and worked for somebody that paid you less doesn't always mean that it's actually less. Sometimes what you are learning is worth more than how much you're getting paid. When I think about my first job, I made so little because it wasn't nothing but $6 an hour. And even though I got commission, which made up for that $6 an hour, and everything was cheaper back then, I could have low key had an apartment in high school if I really wanted one. But at the same time, it's still like so little. But you know what I'm saying, now as an adult, I think back to all the things that I learned from that lady working that job, and how I actually grew up to have my own business, to have my own company, and I was able to use things that I learned from her for my own business. So when I think about it, that $6 an hour, it was a little bit more than that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying that, like, sometimes the way that uh, uh, God will have an option. He'll have a detour. And sometimes the detour, you don't want to take it. You don't want to take that detour. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes it's necessary. Anyways, whew, that's the message. That is the message. That is the message. And that is the message, Simone. But God said, when it really come down to it, whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing, if He tell you to do something, even if you are looking at what He told you to do and you think like, why? There's a reason. And understand that God got you surrounded by angels. God is watching over you. There's nothing that is going to keep you from completing whatever it is the objective is. And sometimes the objective may not even be something that you specifically know of or understand, or you are even looking for it to happen, or anything like that. But it's something that God know of. God's looking for it to happen. God know that God knows what we don't know. And because God knows things that we don't know, sometimes it's a situation where God will have us in a place and we don't really understand why. But you don't know what kind of effects you could have on somebody just by being there. And you don't know what kind of effect you could have just simply by being in a room. Because sometimes you being in a room can save somebody's life. Sometimes you being in a room can affect the kind of, like, maybe somebody trying to figure out what they gonna do for a living when they grow up. Maybe somebody trying to figure out where they want to stay, or certain aspects, like I don't know, but I just feel like God is saying you never know exactly why He put you around somebody. It could simply be for you to have a conversation with them. But just know that when He doing that, when He's moving and He got you doing something, and He's in control, He's in control, and He's in control of everything. And that's the message. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.